In this video, we'll talk about data types. That is a second important topic from LWC point of view. So data type in JS, there are 8 basic data types in JavaScript. First is number, second is string, third is Boolean, fourth is big int, fifth one is undefined, sixth is null, seventh is object, and eighth is symbol. So number is for any kind of integer or the floating point, and in JavaScript we don't have any int data type or a float data type. Everything is a number, and integer has some length limit, that is 253 to the power minus 1 plus minus. And then we have string. A string may have 0 or more character. There is no separate single type character, and string always be in the single quote or in the double quotes. Then we have Boolean. Boolean represents true and false. Then we have big int, because there was a limitation in the number, so recently JavaScript introduced this data type, that is big int. It is for the integer number of arbitrary length. Then we have undefined, and undefined we already seen while we creating the variable. It's like a unassigned a value. Then we have a null, that is for a value that is unknown. Then we have object, one of the most important data types in JavaScript and for complex data structure, I would say. And then we have a symbol. Symbol is used for unique identifier. In object, rest all data types apart from this are object in some form. Array is a form of object, date is a form of object, math is a form of object. There are different ways. This string is not the same string, because here the string is small and here the string is a method here actually. So we'll see this as well. So let's go to our VS Code and try to play with the data types now. So I am back in my VS Code, and here I have a script.js and the index.html, and again we're gonna write our our data types in the script.js. So now we know how to create a variable. So let's create a variable x of type 10 of type number. So if I assign a value that is number, it automatically converts the variable into a number variable. And to check the type of a variable, we always use a type of operator. Okay, and we'll print this in the console. So I'll say console.log type of x, and here it prints immediately the number. Similarly, if I have a floating number, that also a type of number. So this is the first type, and our limit for the number is plus minus 253 to the power minus 1. So this is the limit of our number length. Then we'll move on to our next one, that is big int. Big int introduced to solve the issue of the length size, because nowadays we are working on the big data. So to create a big int number, I'll say where y equal to 10n. If you append a number with n, it means it's a big integer. And now if I print the type of y, it will be big int. It can be any big number like you want. At the end, if it's n, it represent as big int. Let's move on to the third type, that is string. I'll say where name. Usually names are in string. It can be in double quotes or in the single quotes. So if I print now type of name, it is string. Then we have, I can change this name to a single quote, that is also a string. Now you see it's still printing the string. Then we have Boolean. Now if I say where is Monday today, if it's true or false, right? So value that is true or false comes as a data type of Boolean. So if I say is Monday and the type is Boolean. Now the thing to note here carefully is as soon as I wrap it with the double quotes, it becomes string. In other programming languages, sometimes people use double quotes around the true and false, but in JavaScript that is a string value, not a Boolean value. To make it Boolean, you should write true and false without a quotes. Then another data type here is undefined, and the best example is I'll say variable z and just print the type, because we already know JavaScript initialize a variable with undefined value. So undefined for unassigned value, a standalone type that has a single value undefined. So now you see it's printing undefined. So if a variable that is not initialized with any value, by default its value is undefined. So now we'll go to objects. In JavaScript, to create an object, we'll say where obj and this curly brackets shows the object. This is the syntax of object, and I'll say obj, it's printing object. And if I create an array, now that we said there are some other rest apart from these, the rest all types are form of object. So if I create an array AAR and now I print the value of or check the type of ARR, it also an object. So indirectly array is also a type of object. Okay, then we have a symbol. Symbol is used for unique identifier, and to create the symbol I'll write where sim equal to, you need to write capital S for symbol. We'll call the symbol function and pass the unique identifier that you want. I want the ID to be unique, and if I print the type of sim variable, it will print the type symbol. And the last type and the most complicated type is null. And from interview point of view also, you need to remember null is the value that is unknown. So whenever you want to change a variable value to nothing, always assign a value null. So it'll say first variable x was 10, and then you want to change the value from 10 to nothing, just apply null, not undefined. Many people write undefined, that is not a valid use case. So always assign with null, and I'll say x1 because x we already declared above. And now if I print the value console.log type of null, type of x1, and here you see the magic, it's prints object. But we discuss null itself a data type, but when we try to check the type of null is an object, and this is the error, or I would say the mistake done while writing the JavaScript, and they can't fix it. They have written in their documentation they can't fix it, otherwise it will break the whole internet. So you have to remember this, the type of null is object. So these are the 8 types that are available in our JavaScript, and rest all comes under the object umbrella, like array or math function or string function. As I said earlier, there is a string function as well. So I'll say type of string. So there are constructors are there, like string, boolean, those are helping you to create the variable. So these types are also an object type, and don't get confused with these strings. Okay, these are the constructors. Constructors start with a capital letter and in the form of methods. If I say type of string, it's okay, it's new string actually. Yeah, now it's object, because constructor we always initialize with a new keyword. So string is a now become an object. So type of new string, type of boolean, all are of object type. So just remember, you don't need to worry about this. You're not going to use any time in LWC. From LWC point of view, you need to know the type number, type string, type boolean, type object, type undefined, and type null. You don't need to worry about symbols. You don't need to worry about big int. So let's go back to our slides. And we have covered all 8 base data types. And these are the backbone of JavaScript. To understand JavaScript, you should know the difference between these data types. And in the next video, we're gonna try to understand the difference between the undefined and null. So I'll see you in the next video.